Hello and welcome to today's series where we're going to be standing up for the whole time and using a band. So whatever band you have, it does need to have a little bit of resistance in it, so don't go use the lightest band that's available. So we're going to start off just by standing into the center of it. So gathering up a lot of tension so that when you stand up fully, you're going to feel the resistance on the sides of your legs. So we'll take a breath in as we raise the shoulders up. And then breathing out, slowly lower the shoulders down. And then we'll repeat that. Inhaling to rise and exhaling to lower. So many of us have a preference of having our shoulders higher up towards our ears. But in this exercise, we're really going to focus on the lengthening down, which is a new way of telling your nervous system that they don't have to live up there all the time, that there's all this available range of movement living lower down. We'll do that one more time. So that's just a simple slide up and down. We're now going to make a bit more motion into a circle. So rolling the shoulders up, around, and back. And we'll just do 3 in each direction. So just finding maybe in your shoulders there's a little bit of clicking going on, or perhaps you're starting to feel differences on the 2 sides. Just reverse that action as you roll around and to the front, which is not always as easy as you think. And then from there, we're going to go down to one side. So just letting your arm slide down your leg. Your arm is not being pulled up, the shoulder is not creeping up toward your ear. You're just doing a side bend from one way toward the other. Just letting the band sort of slacken down on the side that you're going to, and then tightening on the side going away from. So this is a great way just to get a little bit of movement in your upper body space. And just feeling easy with this. Don't go to your end range. Just explore what you have in the higher parts of your upper back rather than always trying to go into the lower back area. And then when you're equal to the 2 sides, just release some of that tension and do a cross of the band in front of you. From here, we're going to stand up now so we're not as tightly held. And this one can feel a little bit challenging, so just go slowly again. We're going to send the elbows out to the side, bringing them just in front of your shoulder line, and then lowering your arms back down again. And then again, leading the elbows out and away, and then bringing them back down. So we'll do that about 3 more times, just starting to feel a very different sensation in your upper arms. As you're going out, you're looking at the wrist is not bending, flicking back, doing all those weird and wonderful things. Almost like your underarms were inflating with helium balloons and your elbows were just going out to the side. All right, from here we're going to go into a hinge forward. I'm just going to spin to the side so you can see it from that angle. So you're going to go into a fold of your upper body and your hips will be bent back behind. Your knees are still going to be pretty much over the fronts of your feet. Send more resistance, less resistance. So wiggling your hands out to the side. And then from there, straight arms are going to pull open and then rest and draw wide and returning. So often we're taught, maybe sometimes in a gym environment, to really work on the exhalation for exertion. Now you can do that, but I want to teach you to be able to work in control to bring the arms back as much effort as what you did to open them out. Hold them here and we're pulsing the arms up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then relaxing out of that. Pretty challenging. All right, let's take those bands again. We're going to come back and hold them a little bit lower where we were previously and stand our body up. So we're going to go into a squat position. So hips go back, and as you do, feel like you lower your arms toward the floor as low as you can go, but without your bottom dropping down. And then standing yourself back up tall again. And again, sending the hips behind you and folding at the fronts of the hips and the knees, and then reversing that fold as you stand up. So when we're standing up against gravity, sometimes you forget how much weight is involved in that exercise. So just using the band on either side of you provides a bit of feedback again to our incredible nervous system. And then we're going to do one more time and then pausing up. So you're going to remove your right foot And you're going to cross the band over, just like we did in that previous exercise, and then step your right foot through. So in this position, we're just going to do a little bit of gait training. Your arms are just resting down at your side, and you're going to push up onto the ball of the foot and then lowering your heel back down. And again, pushing onto your toes and down. So what you should notice is that as you go onto your toes, your knee should fold forward towards the other leg or towards the front of the room, and then coming back, the leg will straighten. So we'll go for a few more like this, just getting into that mobility of your toe joint, which is so vital for how we walk. And, you know, it's the laying of foundation of everything in our body is how our feet begin to work. So 2 more of these. And then 1 more. Now these may seem like really simple exercises, but please believe me when I tell you they are the foundation. From here, you're going to take your right foot or your front foot and step it through the band to the back, and step it through the band to the front. So we'll add in a little stretch of the leg behind, and then a stretch of the leg through the left. So we'll go into a bend of the front knee in each position is maybe easier to understand. So if you're trying to work on your balance, this is a great one because you're having to not look down to the floor to see or feel where that band is. And it's okay if you brush the band. What you don't want to do is trip yourself forward. So we'll go 1 more time. I'm going to hold it here. Turn your palms to face toward you, and you're going to go into a little bicep curl motion. So pulling against the band tension, just another 3 and 2 and 1, and then lengthen long, and then step yourself through to the back. We'll undo the band on that side, and we'll change feet. So as we do, we cross the band over, and then you're going to step your left foot forward. So with this first one, remember it's the back toes that are getting their moment to shine. So when you're ready, picking the heel up, bending into the toe joints, and then lowering your heel down. So you may notice, you could see or you could feel in your own body that there's a weight transfer to the front leg and then to the back leg. And that's how we walk through space. There's a transfer from one side to the other of the body. The illusion is that we're looking and moving forward, but actually there's all this sideways movement. We're probably related to crabs in that respect. And we'll go for about 4 more. And then can you pay attention to your heel structure as it's coming up? That your heel is not swinging out to a side, but that you feel like it's pushing straight forward towards the big toe. And then last one, and then resting that down. So now we do our traveling step. So we take our left foot through the band to the back, bending into your front knee, and then step through and bend into your front knee. So the front leg is always the leg that's going to bend, whether that be the right or the left. And creating maybe just that sense of, 1, it's a balance challenge is why we're doing it. 2, it's the awareness of, can I move my leg over or through something without having to always look down at where I am? And the other part of this is that you're getting a little calf stretch as we're doing this motion. And we'll go for another 2 times through. And then we will finish the next time bringing your leg through. So from here, we're going to pick the elbows up toward the side of the body, and we're going to stretch our arms back and bend them forward. So a reverse of the bicep curl that we did on the other side, and 2 more times, and last one, and then bringing yourself all the way up and step your leg through. So from here, we're going to undo our band. And we're going to take the band now towards the back of your spine. So trying to get it as thick as possible across your back is ultimate. But sometimes, you know, they slip down and all sorts. So don't be too pedantic about it. So holding again, just nice and narrow. So you feel the the weight of the band behind you. Let's go with a nice big wide stance of the legs. And we're just going to go into one of my favorite moves, which is moving your rib cage backward into the band. The tail will tuck a little bit, the head will tuck a little, and then you're going to reverse all of that motion. So tail flicks backward, head lifts up, and chest goes forward. And then chest goes backward, tail under, head round, and then switching it into the opposite direction. Just like if we were on all fours, this is like a cat-cow that you often experience in a yoga setting, or a curl and an arch. It doesn't matter how you understand it in terms of language, it's the movement of the spine. Flexion when we round, extension when we arch. One more time to each direction. And then from here, we're going to add in a little rotation. So I'm going to keep my arms on a diagonal like so. And all I'm going to do is spin my body, my trunk position around from one to the other. So at the moment, the band is staying still. My arms are staying in the same position. I haven't done anything fun yet, but I'm about to. So as I twist towards my left side, I'm going to stretch my right arm forward and get the sense that the band is pulling my ribs towards the front. And then I go the opposite way and get that same feeling. So if I keep the sense of the band staying glued to the back of my body and then feeling the stretching of my arm across my center, that's going to assist the rotation. This is different to feeling like you're drying yourself off with a towel. We don't want the band to be slippery on the back of the body. Something else that I'm doing right now is I've got a little bend in my knees, which allows me more room for my spine to move rather than staying with my legs straight. It gets a little bit locked in your lower back. We'll do one more time to each side. And then from there, we're going to release our band down. You can just drop the band towards the floor, give your body a little bit of a shake out, give everything a nice bit of a stretch. Let's take our arms all the way up to the ceiling, legs, fingers, stretch up tall and do a side bend from one side to the other. And just getting a little bit of space in your underarm area, and then do a nice big swing around, slapping your hands towards your lower back, letting your foot go into a little spin and a swivel as you do your rotation around. This one, I'm not worried about your form so much. I want you to feel free and kind of like breezy as you go from one way to the other and then coming back. We're going to finish with one more set. So when we come down to pick up our band, we want to go again with all that function we just learned. Hips go back, coming down to pick up your band. And we're going to take our foot into the loop again. So I like to cross my foot over and finding balance. If you need extra assistance, go closer to a wall surface or a table surface or something you can hold on to, or just keep your foot really low to the ground. We're going to pull your toes back towards you and then push your toe forward into the band. If you can do that with your foot away from the floor, that would be great. If you need to, for that extra balance, just keep the ball of the foot or the heel of the foot on the ground as you move through these two ranges. And even though the foot is low, I'm only standing on one leg. Of course, it's going to be a bit challenging. Let's move that motion into a circle of the ankle around in 5. I can never count properly, so I'm sorry. Let's go the other way for 5. And then from here, we're going to pull against that band again, create a nice sense of tension, and see if you can hover your leg up. So 1, like I said, this is a balance challenge. 2, it's going to be a bit of a stretch to the back of the leg, and then lowering down. So the closer I have my arms into the side of the body, the more support I'm going to give myself for that leg to lift. And please understand, it is work for the front of the thigh to lift your leg up. So of course, expect that to happen, but the most joy is on the balancing foot. 4, and then we have one more time to lift, and then lowering down. So we're going to repeat that all on side 2. So again, just changing your foothold, crossing it over. I like to cross over so that the foot is a little more stable. Again, holding on where it feels comfortable for you. Either begin with the heel and the toe on the ground as you point and flex, or see if you can get your foot to balance in the air as we do that ankle motion. So we'll go for another 3. And don't worry if the band moves. My band moved too. 2 and 1. And then you're going to make that ankle circle motion. So maybe you've got a clicky ankle. Mine just cracked. 4 and 5. And then changing the direction around. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now I'm going to be bringing my arms a little closer up. So I've got more resistance on the band. So when I raise my leg out in front of me, I have that support, and then coming down. Now, if I was lying on my back, this is exactly how I would do it. I have my elbows close towards me, and I would be lifting and lowering my leg. The version we're doing now is a little more challenging, like I said, for the thigh muscle, because you're working up against gravity. We've got 2 more as we bring the leg high and take the leg low, and then 1 more time bringing it up and taking it down. Let's undo that, and let's take a hold of our band. So we're going to have it just with our fingers crossed over the top of the band, elbows at the side. Find a comfortable position for your legs where you still feel your feet are facing forward, and then we're going to open the band out to the side and bringing it back. So from a front-on perspective, what we don't want to see is, going too far to the end range and your shoulders getting all disorganized. It's just a movement of thinking of the 2 arms now going more to, say, closer to a 45-degree angle than pointing straight in front of you. So from a side-on perspective, again, I should see that my arm is hanging at the side of my body. I haven't started to twist it back and change the organization of the shoulder joint. I'm just spinning my upper arm in its position in the shoulder joint. So this is our classic rotator cuff movement that many people do as a strengthener for rotator cuffs. What we're going to do now is take our band back behind us and just do a little flip so that you've got some cuff position over the hands, and that's going to give you a little bit more resistance onto the band. From here, we're going to send the arms away from the body and then bringing the arms back towards you. So as we send the arms back, we're looking to keep everything else fairly steady. So the position of your head to your shoulders, to your trunk, to your pelvis, to your feet, staying pretty much in balance. As the arms travel back, yes, there is an opening across the chest and a feeling of a shortening in your upper back, and that's mimicking our extension that we did a little bit earlier. And we'll go 1 more time, and then we're going to hold the position of the arms back behind us, and then just do what you can 5 times. Open, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then bringing the band back. Undo the position. So you're going to go with a wider grip here, and what we're going to do is I'm going to face you. We're going to bring our band, actually I'm going to turn my hands around the other way. We're going to send that arm position all the way over and to the front. I actually prefer to start it this way, so palms facing towards the back of me. And then as the arms lift up, because you've got a band, you stretch the band in order for the arms to circle all the way to the back. And then bringing the arms to the front, stretching the band as need be. So we need to clear the head. So again, as I do that side on, I want to see the least amount of movement of my rib cage forward or backward. So I'm staying again very steady on my feet. So bad movement would look like this in the body. So we want to avoid that. And you're doing your best to feel that the 2 arms are moving in synchronicity with each other so that you're not sort of bringing one arm back before the other. So really getting a smooth move through that circling direction. We'll do that 1 more time, all the way to the back, and then all the way to the front, and then drop the band, and we're done. Hope you enjoyed it. See you again next time.